If you're struggling to actually rank up in Brawl Stars, then this video is for you. Just 2 seasons ago, I was hard stuck Legendary 3 and could not hit Masters solo queue. However, after implementing the concept I'm about to tell you, I was able to hit Masters within a week of solo queue while only playing Spike. This season, I've already reached top 500 in the US solo queue, and I'm going to see how far I can go while allowing myself to play any brawler. I'm not telling you this to flex on you in any way, I'm just giving you my credentials so you know this information that I'm about to share with you isn't coming from a Bronze 2. And if you're Bronze 2, that's completely okay. That's why you're here watching this video. These tips are going to be what I wish people would have told me when I first started playing the game. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. I'm just going to tell you straight up how I was able to climb. Without further ado, let's begin with my first tip. Number 1, don't blame your teammates and have good mental. Mental affects more than you think. Don't be emoting or shooting your teammates if they make a bad play. This is only going to make things worse. Everyone has bad games, including yourself. At least I know that's true for me. If you immediately think your teammates are selling you, you're gonna lose more games because of this. Yes, you are going to lose games because of randoms, but it's a lot less than people actually think. Keep your mental high, see how you can improve and maybe carry this game, and whatever happens, happens. So many people crash out over Brawl Stars, and I get that, I do too, but you gotta remember, it's a video game at the end of the day, and it's meant to be fun. If you are genuinely crashing out over a mobile game, it's time to take a break. It's not that deep. Ever. These crash outs alone are tanking your elo, and it's doing way more bad than a small break or even a long break would do. This brings me to tip number 2, draft. This is the first thing in the game you can control. Now I could make a whole drafting guide as it's not that complicated, however in the beginning it can seem super overwhelming. So what I'll do is give you a brief draft strategy here, and if you guys want a full guide then I can do that no problem. Never first pick thrower. You're gonna get countered and your game will be miserable. I sadly had to learn this the hard way as an ex-thrower main. In general, ban 3 really good brawlers for the map. If you have first pick, you can leave a broken brawler up, but you have to have first pick. You can't rely on your teammate to pick this for you, regardless of your elo. If you are first pick and you don't know what brawler is meta or broken currently, just pick a brawler who's genuinely very strong on that map and you should be okay. If you're one of the middle picks, your job is to counter pick who they just picked. However, if you don't know who counters them, it's okay. Just pick a brawler that in general is strong, and moving forward, try to know in general who counters who. For example, an anti-tank obviously counters a tank, throwers get countered by assassins, and so on. If you are last pick in the drafting phase, you have a huge advantage. Your job should be to assess the teams and see what your team is lacking and who could absolutely destroy their comp. Pick your brawler accordingly and get that elo. Also, understand in general you want 2 lane brawlers that will play left and right side of the map and 1 brawler to hold the mid, like I'm doing with Bo right now. Holding your lane and keeping pressure is so important, I cannot stress this enough. If you let the enemy get behind you, especially on game modes like Gem Grab, you can sell the entire game just because of that. Tip number 3, patience is key. Pressure your enemy and make them make mistakes. One mistake I made when I first started playing was trying to make these big plays or make too many things happen at once. If you sit back, apply pressure to your enemy, and wait for them to make a mistake or misstep, you will automatically win more games. This sounds like a super simple concept, however, in the heat of the moment in Knockout or Bounty, when you have your Hyper Super ready to go, it's much easier said than done. Tip number 4 is constantly try to improve. Now, you might be thinking in your head, duh, I'm gonna try and get better, but what are you actually doing every game to get better? What I did was every time that I died, I think about why I died and what I could have done better next time. When I genuinely started having this mindset and started thinking about why did I just die and what could I have done differently instead of just autopiloting my games, I won at least 30% more games just by doing that, which may not sound like a lot, however, that's 3 extra games every 10 you play for just using your brain. Tip number 5, I know some of you gooners are going to be upset about, but like I said, I'm not sugarcoating anything, I'm giving it to you straight up. Set limits on how much you play every day. Now I know some of you don't shower for weeks at a time and sit in your mom's basement playing 24/7, and that's okay. However, set limits before you start playing ranked that day, saying, okay, I'm this elo right now, if I get to this elo, then I have to get off or take a small break. The game will always be there when you come back, and sometimes you get in this mindset of, oh, I need to get my elo back, but you just aren't playing the best or you're getting unlucky. It's okay to take a break. Spend some time outside or with some loved ones and come back to the game later. I promise it will still be there. Tip number 6 is a little bit of a secret tip. Learn the meta brawlers and those who counter these. Now this is a pointer that may be super obvious to some of you. However, when I first started playing ranked, I just always picked who I thought was good regardless of buffs and nerfs. If I liked how the brawler played or looked, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna log this in and it's gonna work out. I'm not saying you have to be a meta slave, but it is important to know if your main brawler is just not good in general right now. Learn who is solid in the current season and figure out who counters these brawlers, and maybe pick up one of the counters if you struggle with a certain brawler. Like currently, Kenji is super strong. If you struggle facing Kenjis, either 1, ban him at every opportunity you get, or 2, learn his counter and play them when he is picked. Tip number 7, arguably the most important one, understand the game mode and play for the objective. Too often I see people playing for their stats instead of the objective of the game, and they lose purely because they're farming kills. While kills are necessary for some game modes, majority of the time there's a greater objective at hand. For example, in Brawl Ball, people will chase down kills thinking that they're farming up their super or hyper when there's a wide open goal to either be scored or to defend. Now I know from a personal perspective, my stats may not always be the best, and sometimes my teammates kudos me because of this, but you better believe that I am playing my brawler how they're designed to be played and focusing on the game mode. It is so frustrating when you load into a game and your team just plays for kills, so unless it's bounty or knockout, do not do this. Focus on the objective and get your elo. Tip number 8 I have for you guys is check the daily map rotation. A lot of times these maps are directly pulled from the ranked pool, so if you struggle on a map or don't love it, get your reps in playing that map. For example, for me, it was dry season, the game mode bounty. So whenever I see that in the rotation for trophies, you better believe I'm getting my games in on it. I try different brawlers, see what works, see what doesn't work. Also, make sure that you're playing high trophy brawlers so you're not put in bot lobbies. You could also do this in custom games. If you have a lot of friends and you like to be competitive, say, hey guys, let's all play some friendlies tonight. Go on the maps that you guys all struggle with, treat them like ranked game modes, maybe put something up for wager just so it's a little bit more fun and competitive. And I guarantee you, if you do this, not only will you improve, but your friends will too. And if you 3-stack, this is a great way to work on your synergy. Now, tip number 9 is super important, and I've done this on other games that I've gotten really competitive in, but I just started doing it recently in Brawl Stars, and I can already tell it's helped me so much. This tip is watch people who are better than you and who offer educational gameplay. You can find YouTubers and streamers everywhere who kind of walk you through the draft phase and what their thoughts are on the game and what they're doing. This type of content is going to help you improve so much, because not only are you going to be able to see higher elo games, but you're also going to be able to understand what that person is doing in these games, and you can incorporate some of these concepts into your own games and see what works for you and what may not. Now, tip number 10 is gonna be kind of strange and it might feel backwards, but focus on improving as a player and not gaining elo. Now, what I mean by this is a lot of times people load into a ranked game with one thing in mind: I need to get elo. And while that is a okay mindset to have, you should be worried about improving overall as a player. You will gradually gain elo and rank up over time if you incorporate all the tips I've shared with you today and genuinely try to improve as a player. Now you might be like, Zepplit, how do I know this is true? Well, it's because I did this with my series Road to Pro with only Spike. I did my best to improve as a player and focus on bettering myself in every aspect, and as a result of that, I was able to hit Masters solo queue for the first time ever with only one brawler. Now, one of the last tips I'm going to give you guys is do not be afraid to use your super. When I first started playing the game, I felt like I had to save my super for the perfect moment, especially certain supers that are designed to get kills. I felt like I had to hold it for the perfect moment to team wipe, when in reality, especially in higher elo, you want to use these supers to gain prio for your team or potentially get a pick. Do not worry about team wiping, just do your best and whatever happens, happens. Also, another thing to think about is the sooner you use your super, the sooner you get to get another one. Now, I'm not saying just blindly throw your super at nothing, but if you see a good opportunity, don't second guess yourself, trust your gut and just do it. Which brings me to my final tip: trust your gut. I feel like oftentimes Brawl Stars players start overthinking the game. Remember, at the end of the day, it's a mobile game, so just have fun. If you feel like you can make a good play or you think you know what to do, just do your best, and if it doesn't work out, then you know next time. I know this wasn't my usual type of content, but I feel like I have a lot of viewers who want to get better at ranked but don't know how to, so I thought I'd share some tips and tricks that I wish I knew at the beginning of my ranked journey. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments, and I might make some more in-depth guides on certain topics and what you should be focusing on in each rank. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, and I hope you all have an amazing morning, day, or night. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.